This is Rob Talbot for Boxing Social in association with Betfred. Delighted, as always, to be joined by Lupa Suliai, La'a Uli, Alan Mali Atoa, Joseph Parker. We're here on Insta Live with the new viral sensation, Joseph Parker, might I add. What happened there?
Just showing a bit of my dance moves, I guess.
Was that your idea?
It wasn't my idea. I won't take credit for it. It's not my idea. It was my good friend Kerry. He does a lot of my filming, and he's pretty much an expert in filming and then editing, and he's the one that came up with the idea. So all I had to do was dance moves, and it didn't take that long. It was a few takes, but it was good fun shooting it. It was good.
All of that practice in those Las Vegas nightclubs are working out for you, Joe.
Hey.
You heard me. So how are you keeping? How are your family, and how are you getting on in this crazy old lockdown?
Yeah, thanks for asking. The family's doing good. I guess with this lockdown, it's not only myself. I'm spending a lot of time with my kids and my partner, obviously, because we're on lockdown and stuck at home. But I think this is a great opportunity for everyone else to be, it'll strengthen relationships. You know what I mean? And the family's good. And we're just, like I said, we're keeping busy every day. We're trying to keep busy every day with games and activities. And yeah, everything's okay.
It must be nice for you because, excuse me, it must be nice for you because every time I see you, obviously it's at the gym in Vegas. And every time I see you, you've got either a new kid or a kid on the way, but you're always away from home. I know that they moved out and it was slightly easier for you recently, but it must be nice to get a bit of prolonged time at home with the family now.
It's very, very nice, very nice. I was, it's great spending time with my family, kids and partner. I was spending a lot of time with my parents as well, and my, seeing family here. And I got a big family, but with this lockdown, we'll see how it goes, and then we can see them again once it's with everything clears up.
What's the current situation in New Zealand?
We're on lockdown.
With regards
we're
to
on lockdown
everything.
since Wednesday. So our Prime Minister, put us on lockdown, and I think it was a good thing that she did. It shows that she cares about us.
Okay, all right. Well, we're going to go through now. We're obviously going to get plenty of fan Q&A, fan questions in, because you're a popular man in these parts. So let's see what we've got over here. The nightclubs in Vegas, eh? Well, we won't mention that because both
nightclubs. There used to be one in the larger Hyde. There was I actually forgot the name. There's Light nightclub. There's
that's Hakkasan.
There's Hakkasan. Where's the one that's there's Dre's? Yeah, there's some good nightclubs there. I've been reading a lot on the Vegas nightclubs, and that's the one. That's the ones on the list.
Yeah, it's definitely not anything that you know from experience. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Yes, there we go. Okay, Nathan Wymark says, would you ever fight Fury for the belts, as I know you are close to him?
Yeah, I've said I would like to fight him. He wouldn't. He doesn't want to fight me. I think they gave him a question saying if Joseph was a WBA or WBO IBF champion of the world and he had the belts, would you fight him for the belts? And he said, I don't need to fight him for the belts. I already have the belts at home. So. We're very close friends, and I think with his career, I'm not really one of the guys that he wants to fight. So
I haven't spoken to you since the rematch. I don't think I actually saw you during the week either. It's one of the first times I've not been to the gym. But what did you make of his performance against Deontay Wilder? Obviously, shocked a lot of people.
Yeah, he shocked a lot of people, and I guess the confidence that he came in with was awesome. He told everyone what he was going to do, and he wasn't. And he came out and did it. He executed it well. So, listen, I consider him the best in our era. He's not only he's a character, but he's a great fighter as well.
You've you've seen a lot of Tyson in the gym. I know you spar with him. I know Guido spars with him. Guido Vianello, for people who are watching. Did you have any inkling of him being able to produce a performance like that? Not necessarily to win the fight, because I think everybody knew that he was certainly capable of winning the fight, but in that kind of aggressive manner, coming forward and really sticking it on Wilder.
I didn't think that he would have changed. Everyone knows him as the fighter who's a good boxer, who's good at moving, and good defense. And I don't think when he said that he was going to come out and put him on the back foot, I don't think that a lot of people believed him. And to put on a performance like that, it just shows the belief and shows he had a good team around him.
While we're hovering around Fury at this point, you've been, as I say, involved in, or you certainly sparred him and been around his camps, particularly while he's been out in America. Clear up this glove nonsense that seems to be going around, Joe. There's people who are claiming that Tyson has what's the word? I've just woken up in the morning. Tampered with his gloves. Beg your pardon. Can you clear that up? Have you ever seen anything untowards in Tyson's camps or preparation?
I wasn't there in the change rooms, and but I would think with the VADA commission like when I fight, they check the reps. If there's someone, as soon as you get to the change room, someone follows you around everywhere. They watch you do the reps. They watch you when you're gloving up. They watch you taping everything. So I think with all those things in place, I don't think there was an opportunity for him to do anything to the gloves. So that's my own opinion.
Yeah, I'm not going to dwell too much on that because it is ridiculous. But anyway, James Killeen. Do you intend to fight Joshua again?
I'd love to fight Joshua. I have 3 or 4 years left in me in boxing, and I'll fight anyone who wants to fight.
What would you do different in that fight, Joe? I had somebody on Insta Live yesterday. We were doing like a fan interaction, and they were saying about what Joseph Parker needs to do to regain a heavyweight title. Now, me, you, and Kevin Barry, obviously Joseph's coach, we've spoken in the past about you needing to find that dog inside you, that mean side of you. Everybody knows you are such a lovely man, and potentially in the past, I know the Dillian Whyte fight is something that yourself and Kev have mentioned. Maybe it just needed a little bit more of the edge and the grit. Is that something that you feel that you need to find to be able to regain a heavyweight title?
Yeah, it's just more aggression, and just more pressure and more punches. That's basically it. I think, it's nice to box and nice to move and nice to not get hit as much, but that's not going to win you fights, and it's not really entertaining. So my goal for the fights that I have left, or the next 3 years, will be, I just want to go in there and I want to let my hands go, and I want to put pressure on, and I'll do my best. I'll try my best to do it.
How have you found the last year or so, Joe? This is obviously a question just from me, because obviously you signed with Matchroom and you were supposed to be getting the Chisora fight that kind of dragged. I know you've wanted the Dillian Whyte rematch, and by your own admission, you haven't been as busy as you would have liked to. You've had some pullouts and some things outside your control. You got bit by a spider, obviously. What's the period of time been like over the last year or so for you? There he goes.
Listen, it was a slow year in 2019. I had one fight in the beginning of the year, which was Alex Leopai. I had the fight locked in with Chisora, which I was the one calling for, and I think he wanted it as well, and it was great. We locked it in. Unfortunately, the doctor pulled me out of the fight because of illness, and he said I wasn't able to train, and that means I'm not able to fight. So really, it's not really Matchroom's fault. It's not Chisora's fault or my fault. I think it's the spider's fault. If we ever find that spider again, I'm gonna deal with him or her or whatever it is. But it was a slow year, so I was very happy to fight at the beginning of this year. I was happy to fight in February, and the plan was to fight 2 or 3 times more this year. And unfortunately, with what's happened, that has those plans out the window. So we just have to be patient, and we all have to ride this out and see when it finishes. Because it's not only myself that's been delayed the fight. There's all the other fighters. There are big cards. I think I saw on Eddie's page that there was a card that's meant to be on tonight, but because of what's happened, nothing. Everything has been postponed or moved. And it's not only the fighters. There's other athletes. The Olympics. There's people going to work. There's people doing different things to earn money, holidays. I guess it's put the whole world on sort of pause.
It certainly has. Luke Jordan Z says, what should I do if me or my friends are being bullied?
What you should do, if you're bullied, my advice would be speak up. Sometimes when things like this happen, we don't want to say anything. So I think speak up, tell your parents, and just open up about it, and then get some help. Because us, we're far away. I mean, the only advice I'll give is to train and try and defend yourself. But I don't think that's the right way of going about it. I think speak to your parents and let them know what's happening.
UK Rob MCR says, how are the junior FAR negotiations going?
I think there was a fight that was mentioned. I said I wanted to fight someone in the top 10 in the world, or top 5 or top 10, and I think he's ranked number 6. If it makes sense to the team to get me closer to fighting for the title, then I'll take any fight. I guess with that, the negotiations, that was I think they were asking for too much money. So I think it was sort of on hold.
How big a fight would that be in your part of the world, Joe?
I think it'll be a pretty big fight here. I'm not sure if it'll be as big as the David Tor Shane Cameron fight. Maybe not. But it'll be pretty big here because we're both New Zealanders. He's undefeated and he's ranked number 6 and I'm ranked number 2. So I think having that in mind, it'll help make it a big event here.
You just mentioned Tua Cameron. Always reminds me of David Higgins, that fight. How is David? Is he keeping out of trouble in this lockdown? He strikes me as the type of person to absolutely hate being locked down.
David's doing good. He's actually I was going to try and add him onto here because he wanted to jump on but he's doing good. He's I think he's just going through what everyone else is going through, time at home, and he's one of those guys who likes to be out and about. But
yeah, he does.
I guess this has settled him right down. So it's good for him. It's good for the soul.
I can imagine what he's going to be like. I bet I'd love to be a fly on the wall wherever he's in quarantine. Anyway, Andrew Lobo 88 says bigger power shot: Dillian Whyte left hook or Anthony Joshua right hand.
Listen, the only punch that caught me well was the punch with Dillian Whyte, and he dropped me. So if it was for me to decide who had more power, I would just say Dillian Whyte because he landed a cleaner shot.
Nathan Wymark 22 says Usyk versus Chisora will be a good fight. Do you think Usyk has what it takes to succeed? I would like Parker versus Usyk.
Yeah, I my opinion is that Usyk, I feel that he has, he's done great in the cruiserweight division, unifying the belts. So he's a fighter with a lot of skill. He's a lot of punch selection is high, and his good fitness and good movement. And I think he has what it takes to beat Chisora, even if Chisora is a ruthless, grunty kind of fighter.
This is a good question, actually, because we've been trying to find you a nickname for a while. Sire's Odyssey says, Joseph, would you consider taking the smoking nickname like Joe Frazier? So smoking Joe Parker.
Smoking Joe Parker. Oh.
A lot of pressure, isn't there, taking that?
There's pressure because Smoking Joe was the man. He was, yeah. Maybe we'll start fresh.
Where do we stand with a nickname for you or a ring? Because we've been trying to think of one for a while.
I don't know. Yeah.
What was it at one time? Was it when we tried to think of something that was to do with going to sleep or something? I can't remember now. You can't remember anything either.
No.
Okay, we'll just keep going. Joe, what was your take from the Shaundell Winters fight?
The take was that it's always good to get a knockout victory in good fashion. I didn't really focus on. I should have focused on defense and offense, but I just really wanted to go on offense, really, just to go in there and let my hands go and get him out of there. Maybe I just need to work on my movement and defense.
Henry Fiamatai says, Talofa Chief Lupusuliai, Joseph Parker, Samoa champ.
Talofa, thank you, brother. Thanks for the support.
When's the next fight? I don't think anybody knows that.
Not sure on that, yeah.
Nobody knows that yet. Here's one. Here's a question that I'd like the answer to, actually. Langton Dion says, do you think you could fight in the UFC?
No. The reason is it's just no. I love boxing and I wouldn't want to get I don't think I know how to kick. I don't want to get kicked in the head or knee in the chin or you know what I mean. So I'll stick to boxing, but I respect what they do. That is that's a different level as well. There's boxing and there's UFC. They're both great sports.
And Dillian Whyte, who obviously you shared a ring with, was talking about fighting in the UFC recently. How do you think he'd get on in the UFC? I
think he'll do quite good. Wasn't he a kickboxer before?
Yeah.
So I think he'll do quite good. I think he's quite he's pretty ruthless as well.
Nathan Wymark 22 says Daniel Dubois is the British up and coming. Do you think he's ready yet for that big step up? Be a good fight with you, Joe. Obviously, he's got to fight Joe Joyce first, Joe. So how do you think that will get on? Because you must know Joe fairly well because he's been Vegas based for a while.
I saw him briefly. I think he came to the gym with manager Sam, and
Yeah,
he's
'cause
doing
obviously
some
Sam
work.
looks
I
after
mean,
Guido, doesn't he?
yeah. So he was with, it was all of us: Kevin, Taylor, Guido, and yeah, I met him a few times. He's a good guy. I
How,
think Daniel Dubois. I think that fight. I don't know. I don't know how that will go. And like I said before, I'll fight anyone that's put in front of me.
Sonny Edwards, Mr. Teb. Hello, Sonny Edwards. Judith Marfell says, Joe, I'm interested to see the answer to this as well. What keeps you grounded with all of the press hype?
What keeps me grounded? I think just family, really. Family, and I think the parents' upbringing. They brought me up not good. I think I'm a good person, and just having my family and team around keeps me grounded. So it's important to have them.
Aesthetics Ward. Question. If the rematch
That's
between
all.
you and Andy Ruiz were to happen, what game plan would you put in place?
Uh, Andy Ruiz, he's a come forward fighter. I'll stand there and trade with him. I feel like we both have fast hands. And the first fight that we had, it was a close fight. We both, I think, after the fight, we both realized it wasn't the best camps. His camp, he said that he trained himself up in Big Bear, and there wasn't a lot of interaction with Abel. With my camp, I was doing a lot of flying here and there, and then I couldn't, leaving Vegas, I couldn't even complete 4 rounds of sparring. So I was, fortunate to, get a good fight and a good win. And if we had the rematch, I'll have an even better camp because I know how to do it. I'll do it right now.
Gary C008 says, who would be your dream fight, past or present?
Dream fight, probably Mike Tyson, because I want to feel that power.
Yeah, I definitely would not want to feel that power. So I'll leave that one to you, mate. Velia Toa, who's the strongest fighter in terms of power you've ever been in the ring with?
For getting hit clean and feeling, it would have been Andy Ruiz. Hit me quite hard. He hit me right on the ear, and it sort of caused me a bit of discomfort, and then I couldn't really hear properly out of the ear for the remainder of the fight. This was probably the second or third round, so it was a stingy kind of punch.
Usman18 says, what's your best memory so far in your career?
Our best memory would be just winning the world title. I made a lot of people happy then, parents, management team, countries, and it was for me it was a great feeling, making everyone happy and proud.
Billy Sinclair 21, do you ever get nervous going into the ring?
I used to get nervous when I didn't prepare as well as I should have. When you go to camp and you're supposed to train, and sometimes you go there and go here, and then
all of those late night Vegas libraries.
Doing a lot of reading,
bit of reading, bit of this, bit of that.
But nowadays, you still get a little nervous. But when you work hard and train hard and give everything you can, whatever happens, happens.
It must be good to have a little bit of nerves, though. I would imagine you want to
It's
have
always,
a little bit.
It's good. We're human. You're always going to have nerves. It's a big occasion. You're fighting in front of a lot of people, not only in the stadium, but there's a lot of people watching, and things. All of those things, play the nerves within your head.
Jorday says, what was it like suffering your first defeat?
Oh, it wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. I didn't want to win or lose, and I don't like to lose. But I lost to the better man, and I trained as hard as I could for that particular camp, and just lost to the better man on the day. But it doesn't mean he's a better fighter overall.
What was missing that day, Joe, against AJ?
Just like we mentioned before, aggression. Having a bit more, a bit more drive to go in there and let loose and let your hands go. I was working on, I thought my speed and my movement and trying to catch him coming in, but he boxed smartly.
Okay, here's a good question. Reeds95, do you think you could have beaten David Tua in his prime? I know you're a big fan of David back in the day.
I love David Tua. He's a legend. He's a legend fighter for Samoa in New Zealand. If I go into the ring with anyone, I will back myself against anyone that I fight. But I know that he is a dangerous fighter with a big left hook and a lot of power. But if I went into the ring with him, I back myself to beat anyone. So I back myself to win.
Simon English 16 says, Joe, what fight did you go into feeling unbeatable, and how important is it to be mentally ready?
Mentally ready is very important. I think the physical work that we do every day is important, but a lot of it's mental. Imagine that you're training and then you couldn't really sort of get it in your head that you're going to go in and fight. You'll be all nervous and you'll break down and you'll be sweating before you get in the ring. So being mentally prepared is very important before a big fight. A fight that I've gone in very confident. Most of the fights I go that I've had, I've gone confident.
Judith Marfell says, hi, Joes, please do another podcast with Art and Matilda. I don't know what that is.
Oh, so we did a podcast in New Zealand. Yeah, I'll get onto that.
Okay, I am trying to get through these questions, guys. I'm getting some people going, ask my question. I'm trying. There are a lot. Who hits harder, AJ or Ruiz? You've already said that.
Ruiz can hit me clean,
yeah. Okay, here's a question for you, Joe. What are your favourite older fighters to watch?
I like Muhammad Ali. I like Lennox is not. Lennox is quite considered back.
Yeah. If he's retired, you can have it.
I like there's Leon Spinks. There's what's his name, Larry Holmes. There's a lot of them. There's a lot of them out there.
Charlie Fletcher says, Joe, which rematch do you want the most right now? AJ Ruiz or Dillian Whyte?
Like the one I want right now would be AJ because he has the belts, and that's probably the fight that's get me closer to being a world champion or unified champion. In terms of being a champion of the world, I'd like to fight AJ because he has the belt. Dillian Whyte, I'd like to fight him because I lost to him and because he talks a lot.
We've spoken in the past that the Dillian Whyte, because how close the fight was, obviously that dramatic 12th round. I actually watched that fight a couple of days ago, interestingly enough. Oh, not very interesting, but whatever. But what would you do different in that fight? Obviously, we spoke about kind of what we felt at the time, or what Kevin and yourself felt at the time, that maybe roughhoused you out of the fight a little bit. How would you approach a rematch with Dillian Whyte differently?
The first few rounds, I was landing a lot of shots without getting caught, and then it's not only until the headbutt which caused a bit of discomfort, and then I was a bit lost during the fight. So, but I don't want to be sound like I make excuses. He won, he won on the day, and I think if I went into the fight with him again, it'll just be more punches, and a bit more aggression instead of moving too much, standing there and then trading in the pocket.
How do you think he's going to get on with Alexander Povetkin if and when that fight happens?
I think he beats him. I think he beats Povetkin. I think Povetkin's been around for a while and he's got a good left hook on him, but I think Dillian has more weapons.
Tui Pilates says, who do you think would win, Ali or Tyson, and why? I'm assuming that's Ali or Mike Tyson.
Is it Ali or Mike Tyson, or Ali or Tyson Fury? I don't know.
Well, I tell you what, we'll do both. So Ali versus Mike Tyson, and then Ali versus Tyson Fury. Who wins those fights, Joe?
Oof, I don't know. Ali and Tyson Fury, or Mike Tyson. Probably Ali would win. Oh, I don't know. Mike Tyson.
You'll never make it as a pundit, mate. Stick to boxing.
I know. That's why.
AFC Fan Forever says, would you fight Wilder, and how would you beat him?
Yeah, I would fight Wilder if it meant something. At the moment, he doesn't have a belt. So what I'm trying to achieve is being world champion. If that's the route that gets me closer to, then I'll fight him. And I have a lot of respect for Wilder. He was a great champion. Powerful man. How would I fight him? I think Fury gave away the blueprint. Pressure. But in saying that, I'm not 6'9". I'm 6'4". So I have to, it would be pressure, and it would just be, doing my best not to, get connected with that right hand.
Joe, in this kind of era, it's sort of what we spoke about earlier. In this era of like giants, when you've got your 6'9" guys, your 6'6", 6'7", how do you compete with guys like that? Obviously, the jump from cruiserweight to, you're talking like 270 pounds plus with Tyson and Andy Ruiz, etc. You're somewhere kind of hovering in the middle of the cruiserweights and these big heavyweights. You're kind of like a good-sized heavyweight, but you're not one of the giants. How do you negate that? How do you bridge that gap?
I think just like speed and movement, really. Speed and movement, and just letting your hands go. That's what I think. But you're right,
Miles,
I'm not a big heavyweight.
no, you're bigger than me. Well, to be fair, I don't know. I might be heavier than you in a minute. But Miles Whitnell says, "Hi Joe, I'm coming to New Zealand in March next year for the America's Cup and staying at a friend's in Browns Bay. Can you recommend a must-see place to visit?"
Browns Bay. Must see place. It'll be Waiheke Island. Waiheke Island will be perfect. You know, there's wineries, it's nice and sunny, there's beaches. You'll like it there.
DBW11. Hey Joe, I'm starting my boxing seriously now. My dad, pop, and family for generations have been fighters. Have you got any tips? My nan's a Kiwi, so I love you.
Have you got any tips for
Being a boxer.
boxing? Being a boxer, just find a good coach, train hard, eat well, sleep good, and you know, it really is just about being guided the right way.
Stay
I'm
out of
doing
those
everything
Las
correctly.
Vegas libraries as well.
Yeah, libraries at night time, only during the day because you know it's not late.
Villy Wren, what sport would you be the best at apart from boxing?
What sport would I be the best at? If I wasn't boxing, I love volleyball. I played volleyball a lot. I think I'll be pretty okay.
Didn't expect that. What about rugby? Did you ever play rugby when you were younger?
I played rugby. I wasn't the best, but I was very fit because of the boxing training. So I won the award for what did I win? A most improved player.
UK Rob MCR says, do you ever cringe at press conferences when David Higgins gets on a roll?
No, no. Listen, we're a team, and I stick by him no matter what. So I know he's a character, and he brings a lot of excitement, and I stand by him.
Yeah, I think everybody loves a bit of Dave Higgins at press conferences. Love it, mate. I love it. I can't wait. As soon as he gets on a roll, I get the camera out. Brilliant. Harry G MCR, have you ever thought about doing a hacker before you fight?
For me personally, I wouldn't. I mean, I love how to represent our country and that, but I wouldn't do it myself. I wouldn't do it before a fight because you know you're all gloved up. But I guess if you're talking about the walkout, yeah, maybe one day I'll have the hacker there before I walk out. Usually I have my uncles guiding me out, but yeah, I might put that into you know, as an idea for the future.
Didn't you had something similar, didn't you? You had some sort of war dance before the
We
AJ
had
fight.
it for the AJ fight, the weigh-in. Yeah, and that was good. It's you know, that's part of our culture.
Higgins 4629. Dave Higgins is in the house, ladies and gentlemen. How are you, David? Nice to have you on Boxing Social.
Is he?
He's in here, yeah. He's in here. He's lurking in the background, ominously. All right, okay. Here's a question. Ifonra. Sorry if I'm getting some of these names wrong. How did you become such good friends with Tyson Fury?
I guess Tyson. When I you know we've been talking for a while since I don't know 2013, 2014, and I didn't meet him until I fought his cousin in 2017. You know, when I met him for the first time, we gave each other a big hug, and you know, he's been very supportive since I started my career. So that's you know it's pretty cool. You know, having the champion of the world as a great friend.
V Latoa says pre-fight food. I'm assuming what's your favourite, or what do you like to eat
Pre-fight
before
food,
fights?
fight day, porridge in the morning, yogurt, fruits. For lunch would be, and dinner would be the same. It would be pasta, chicken, and avocado. That's been the lunch, or that's been the lunch and dinner before most of my fights.
No burgers. You like
No,
a good burger, don't you?
I've had a few burgers before a fight. I mean, after the weigh-in.
What's that like? Are you supposed to do that, or are you just having it because you want it?
No, it feels because you're a heavyweight. It doesn't really matter.
Okay, we're going to try and get through a few questions because it's late with Joe. It's first thing in the morning for me, and it's last thing for him. What's that? What are you oohing at?
No. I just Taylor Barry. No, I just saw Taylor.
Is Taylor
goes, have you ever smoked weed?
Oh, that's a question for you, mate. This is your live, not mine.
Next question.
What village are you from in Samoa?
Mick Conlon. Huh? My village would be Faleula, and Kapu. Can you say that?
No, go on. Try again. Help me.
Faleula?
Falilua.
Yeah, kappa.
Kapalapa'o. You need to teach me some
Yeah,
more
no.
Samoan.
Yeah,
I've
better teach you.
exhausted everything that I know.
Say what's up to Mick. Mick's on, Conlon. What's
Hello,
up,
Mick
Mick? How are
Conlon.
you?
How are you, sir? Teddy B94. Favourite fighters from the UK. Not allowed to mention Tyson Fury. You've probably got to
Yeah.
mention Mick Conlon now.
Oh, Mick, yes, Mick. Only Mick. I can't mention Tyson, so just Mick. Josh Kelly's a good fighter. Thanks, Taylor, for reminding me. Yes, Josh Kelly.
Let's try and get through this. Jardel 5142 says you're the #1 gangster boxer in the world, Joe.
You.
There we
That's
go.
how we do.
Vanfire 274. Have you ever been bullied, Us?
Yeah, one time I think I finished school, went home on the bus, and I got to my house, and there was a guy that wanted to fight me. I think I was 12 years old, and the guy was 16 years old. So my dad took me out to the driveway and said to the guy, "Hey, you want to fight my son?" And it was a big crowd, and then it made us fight. I think that's a bit of bullying because the guy was older.
How did you get on? Did you
Not
win?
the best, to be honest. Nah. I think I got my ass whooped.
That's okay. Everyone needs a little bit of an ass whooping once upon a time.
Yeah.
Okay. Harry G MCR, what did you think of Manchester here? Was there a particular quiet restaurant you attended before a 6 a.m. topless hacker with Tyson Fury?
There was some nice restaurants. I like Manchester, actually. There was a lot of restaurants that we went to. I don't remember the names, though. I'm sorry, but there were some nice places we ate.
Why don't you remember the names, Joe? What were you doing that made you forget the name?
Difficult to pronounce.
Okay, we're gonna try like a couple more quick ones, and then we're gonna let Joe go. Would you fight Taylor Barry? I'd like to see that.
I'd beat him up all the time, anyways.
Do we have any more final questions for Joe? Because we're going to take a couple more, and then we're going to let him go. But
yeah, I just want to say to everyone, thank you all for tuning in. Though, really appreciate the support and questions, and hopefully we've answered a lot of them.
Yeah, we've done a few, mate, and I do appreciate you tuning in as well, and anybody and everybody around the world, of course. Here's a question: what is your favourite Tupac song?
Hit 'em up.
Okay. Do you know the words? You know lyrics?
Yeah, but there's a lot of swearing in it, you know.
Yeah, I was going to say, I would have stopped you doing it. You're a respectable man, so no swearing. Here's one. Okay, you've been in the ring with both of them. Johnny Emerson asks Ruiz versus Whyte. Who wins?
Ooh, that'll be a good one. I'll give it to Ruiz to win. Just come forward, and he's got faster hands, and I believe probably more power because he's got that sting behind it.
Lima Sopoaga says favorite NBA player.
King James.
Is that because he's the one that you know, or are you an NBA fan? I don't even know. I know you've got NBA jerseys. I've seen you in jerseys, but I don't know.
Are you kidding me? I know all the players in all the teams.
I didn't know because I was going to say you're a professional fighter, and let's just say your boxing knowledge sometimes isn't always up there. Okay.
Listen, do you know why? Because I'll rather, you know.
Oh, mate, give me some piano. Come on, give me some piano. Play some piano for us before we let you go.
That's what I'd rather do, huh?
Wow. Play us something before you go, Joe.
Hold on. What can I play? I don't know.
Play Hit 'em Up on the piano.
I can't play Hit 'em Up. Or a basic little.
I like it. That's good. All right, mate. Okay, I think we're probably about there. Joe, always a pleasure catching up with you, and I'm glad to hear that your family and everybody is safe. It's good to hear, and hopefully the next time I catch up with you will be under slightly different circumstances. But Thanks very much for stopping by, mate. Give us a little dance before you go, Joe. There he goes. There he goes.
Hey guys, thank you all for tuning in. Appreciate it. Thanks for the support, and I hope you all keep safe at this time. And we're going to get through this.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Lupus Uliai, La'a Uli, Alemali Atoa, Joseph Parker. Thanks very much for speaking to Boxing Social. Fa.
Pass over what?